Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, the 10th day of June. Today is National Egg Roll Day. You know, I was like 25 years old before I ever even tried an egg roll.
I'm not a huge fan of egg rolls. I like crab rangoon, but
I
not
didn't
egg rolls.
think I was going to like them, but I really kind of do. So maybe I'll have an egg roll today. It's National Ballpoint Pen Day today. You know, I was like 25 years old before I ever used a ballpoint pen. Okay, not really.
I don't think so.
It's also National Iced Tea Day, which I absolutely love. National Black Cow Day and National Herbs and Spices Day, which makes everything a little better, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Little herbs, little spices, spice things up. I've got a guest coming up today, super smart dude, Anthony M. Townsend. He's the author of a book that came out, 5-10 years ago called Smart Cities. And he's got a new book that just came out called GhostRoad, Beyond the Driverless Car. So we're going to talk about cars that drive themselves. I don't know if we're ready for that, but we're going to chat all about it coming up in a bit. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A Swedish study found that antidepressant drugs can lead to violent behavior. So,
Really?
I kind of wonder if the drugs are what's leading to the violent behavior or the fact that they need the drugs, and they didn't have enough of a dosage or something. Because doesn't that just seem weird?
But if you read the side effects on all of these kinds of drugs, that's kind of listed. Oh, yeah.
Okay. See, I never really thought about that. Well, I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. I'm going to just move on because I'm not going to say it's not interesting. It certainly is, but I've got other things to do. It's in the show notes if you're interested. You can find that at johnandheidishow.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. Interesting story here. Naked man escaped through a skylight onto the roof of a house in England during a drug raid. Police say they executed a drug warrant. The man left the building, climbed onto the roof through a skylight, taking some cannabis with him, but he left behind cocaine, scales, money, and all of his clothing. South Devon Crime Protective Policing Team said he was quickly persuaded to return inside. They tweeted a picture of him and said, "This is taking social distancing too far." Comes during a massively successful period of activity for the drug teams in that area. Another person was arrested after 12 kilos of cannabis worth 120,000 pounds was seized last week. So they've been busy. So this dude took off, grabbed some drugs, forgot to grab any clothing. Interesting idea. That is what happens, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, a big screen, a little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Sweet Home Alabama star Josh Lucas is being accused of cheating during the pandemic. His ex-wife, Jessica Henriquez, says. So that's not good. It's not good anytime. But I don't know how...
It's not good anytime.
Yeah, I don't know
Period.
if the pandemic makes it worse.
No,
probably.
it doesn't.
Just accused of cheating, period.
Yeah.
It happened to be during the pandemic.
I was going to say, it really has nothing to do with the other. But.
Not really. Kris Jenner is said to be freaking out, in quotes there, freaking out, over Forbes magazine. They exposed the fact that Kylie Jenner inflated her wealth and is not really a billionaire. She was the world's youngest billionaire, I believe. According to Forbes, Kylie says she's a billionaire, but she's really only worth $900 million.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. How is she going to make it? 24 or whatever she is. So there you go. Kris Jenner, calm down. I don't think it's a big deal. Everybody's going to be just fine on this whole thing. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
We're here to make it better. If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, the scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. A study by the Arizona State University found that dogs can actually help owners who are in distress. The survey asked 60 dog owners to go into a different room and scream for help without calling their dog's name. 2/3 of the dogs ran in. Now, to test this experiment, I'm going to shout for help right now to see if our dogs will come. Can you see them in the other room? Either of them?
Yes, I can see both of them.
Help! 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 Are they even looking this way?
No, they didn't even lift their heads off of the bed.
Now I want you to do it. See if it helps with you doing it.
Help! Miley lifted her head. Looked at least, but no movement.
Once again, this report completely doesn't affect our dogs at all. So, again, for those of you who just tuned in and hear us yelling help, sorry for the weirdness there. But a survey asked 60 dog owners to go into a different room and scream for help without calling their dog's name. Don't say their name, just shout for help. 2/3 of dog owners said their dog ran in to help them.
Thing is, our dogs can see us.
They see you.
I think they know there's probably no issues.
Yeah, like if there's
whatever. You guys
a treat involved, I might come in here. I brought the dogs here just for this, and they just proved now everybody can tell me how much my dogs don't like me. A new study by the Mount Auburn Hospital found that warm weather will slow down the spread of the coronavirus, which is very good news. Warm weather is hitting a lot of places, so that's good.
It is.
And maybe the best news I've heard all day, Heidi. Costco plans to start bringing back their legendary free samples in the month of June. There will be some changes this month. Retailers suspend their popular samples a while back in March, over safety concerns with the spread of coronavirus. But now, Costco execs are targeting mid-June, so sneaking right up, the return of the freebies. They say, unlike the old method, samplers will not be able to just pick up an open sample with their fingers. There's going to be a process where, I don't know if they send it through a bank vault or I'm not sure. You have to have a stick.
So then that must mean the whole mask thing is going away too.
I don't know.
How are you going to eat their samples with a
I hadn't
mask
thought of
on
that.
your face?
You have to slide it under this.
Yeah, so that's
With
good
a
news
straw.
all the way around.
I don't know. So I have the info if you want to read it all. It's in the show notes. An Idaho man, oh my goodness, this is crazy. An Idaho man drank a liter of lemon juice through a straw in under 17 seconds to win a Guinness World Record. David Rush has broken more than 100 Guinness World Records, by the way, to promote STEM education. That's science, technology,
something.
education and math. I don't think the education is right. The math, maybe, I think. I
have no idea.
Anyway, I should know this. I really should. I've done dozens of interviews with people on this topic. I should pay attention during interviews. He emptied the glass in 16.53 seconds. Keep in mind, a liter of lemon juice in less than 17 seconds.
Lemon juice. That would be awful.
I can't even think of doing that over the course of 17 minutes. Sipping
I like
slowly.
lemon juice.
But not sipping through a straw? No, I don't think so either. That's going to do it for your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. And Mandy and Miley, my puppies listening in the other room, thanks for nothing.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We've got a guest joining us today, the author of Ghost Road, Beyond the Driverless Car, Anthony Townsend. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Tell me a little bit about this book and where the idea came from.
This is basically, we're coming up this October on the 10-year anniversary of Google's unveiling of their secret self-driving car project in October 2010. A couple of years ago, I started to notice that we weren't really fully understanding the importance of this technology and how it was really going to impact mobility beyond just cars, that automated driving was going to be built into everything from buses to scooters to bicycles, and even buildings. So what I wanted to do was really chart out a richer vision for what automated driving might mean for the future of how we get around.
So in the first 10 years of this, it was announced 10 years ago, and here we are 10 years into it. Have we come as far as they thought we were going to come? Are we further than they thought? Are we not as far?
Google has achieved what they set out to achieve. Last year, they launched a paying, self-driving, fully automated taxi service in the Phoenix region through a spin-off called Waymo, and that was, basically what they set out to do. You can go there and sign up for the service and hail a ride, and a minivan with no one behind the wheel will come pick you up and take you to your destination. So that's worked. It hasn't taken over the world yet, and it'll be many years before it does, but I fully expect another 10 years from now that there won't be any taxi drivers in the United States, that function will be completely automated. Whether that means that all of us will have a fully self-driving car parked in our garage is another story. But I do believe there will be lots of other self-driving vehicles under our feet or pulling up at our corner. They'll be doing all kinds of things for us. So that technology has really entered the world now in a big way.
Now, when you visit with people, do you find a lot of people that are not quite ready for this technology, like our generation is just not ready for it yet?
Yeah, I think there's tremendous public skepticism of the technology. There have been a number of high-profile accidents of both partially automated vehicles. Tesla has been deploying this technology in various forms, and there have been accidents. Uber has tested its technology and had a couple of accidents, and these have received a tremendous amount of publicity. AAA has been doing surveys regularly over the last couple of years trying to understand people's perceptions. There's a lot of hesitation around it. There's also a lot of belief from the market research community, I guess, that once people are exposed to the technology, that reluctance will fade away.
I think that's probably what will happen. And it's not just technology. Anytime there's something new, I read a story about when shopping carts came out, nobody would use them. They actually had to hire models, like actors, to walk around the grocery store pushing shopping carts. And when other people saw that, other people are using them, even though they were paid actors, they didn't know that, then they started using them. Now everybody uses a shopping cart. So anytime something is new, I think there is a period where it's kind of, people have to get used to it. And it's fascinating. Now, I'm looking here. You also have a book that you put out quite a while back called Smart Cities. So this topic is not a new topic for you at all, is it?
Not at all. What I learned writing Smart Cities is that transportation and mobility is really the area, of all the kinds of domains of city building, whether it's housing or energy. Transportation is the one where digital technology is reshaping our lives fastest and sort of most universally. It affects everybody's lives. Our smartphones and our apps have affected how we all get around, whether it's just planning a route on our Google Maps or ditching our car and using ride hail and bike share to satisfy all of our needs.
Well, it's absolutely a fascinating topic for me, and I appreciate taking the time to chat with us. The new book is called Ghost Road, Beyond the Driverless Car, and the book from before is called Smart Cities. I'm going to throw a link to both of those to make them really, really easy to find. Again, Anthony, thank you for the time today, sir.
Thank you very much.
And again, a link to both of his books in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The longest book title contains 1,809 words.
Okay.
The title...
Words?
Yeah, that's how many words in just the title. I've got the entire title here, but I'm not going to read it all.
No.
It's a 2014 Guinness World Record-setting book practically in full text itself, 1,809 words. That's 11,284 characters. It begins with the historical development of the brain, i.e., from its formation from Endalia, earthworm, lugworm, ragworm, and it just keeps going on. A whole lot of stuff.
They already lost
If you want to read all of that, you can. Anyway, they just keep going. So if you'd like to find out what the world's longest book title is, you can read all of it. Or you could just know this. It's 1,809 words that probably don't matter to anybody at all. But if it does matter to you, it's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. And that is today's fun fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline, China. Chinese archaeologists have unearthed a 2,000-year-old swan-shaped vessel. The bronze pot was found inside the tomb of a warrior alongside a helmet and an iron and jade sword. The pot was had almost a gallon of a brownish, mysterious liquid inside. So, not sure what that was or what it is, but interesting stuff. That is today's news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. In Canada, people are always known for being so polite. You know, it's one of the things. It's funny. I've seen videos where there was like a near miss, almost an accident, and people got out and apologized to each other. And then there's people like in other countries where they're like, hey, in America, that would have turned into a fist fight. Well, this dude wasn't necessarily so polite in Winnipeg. He stole an ambulance. 8:30 a.m., paramedics and crews were en route, and they came across an individual who needed some assistance. They pulled over to the curb to lend an aid. About 70 seconds in, they realized, he's not needing aid. He's a threat to us. And that is when he bombarded them, and he drove away in the ambulance. Short time later, the ambulance collided with a building. The individual was apprehended. The right corner of the front axle of the ambulance damaged, but there was no estimate yet on how much it would cost to repair. But I wonder if he apologized. Do you think? I'm so sorry. Yeah, don't do that. Don't steal nobody's ambulance. It's a bad idea. And if you do, you'll land right here in today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of da, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A Massachusetts resident facing an assault charge after allegedly striking a highway worker with a large pickle. We mentioned this, I don't know, it was last week or yesterday. I don't know when it was.
Yeah, we did.
According to police, 34-year-old Christopher Hermensdorfer, I probably got that wrong and I apologize, was a passenger in a vehicle traveling on Route 7 in Vermont. They say Hermensdorfer threw a pickle that hit Carl Hoffman, a 59-year-old employee of the Vermont Agency of Transportation. The pickle, police say, struck the victim and caused him pain. The person in the vehicle was later located and cited for simple assault, a misdemeanor. He's scheduled for July 20th appearance in Vermont Superior Court. Hermensdorfer, who lives in Massachusetts, has multiple drunk driving convictions on his rap sheet, but this is the first time he's ever thrown a pickle at someone that they know of, anyway. So, yeah, it's a bad idea. Don't do that. If you do, you could end up here in today's moment of da.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida? Broward County, Florida man who was tired of waiting at the hospital stole an ambulance and drove it home. Fake news or Florida?
I'll say Florida.
It is a true story. I remember reading that, actually.
I don't remember reading it, but I could see somebody doing that if they're like, you know what?
I'm just going.
I'm going home.
And that's what he did. He sat there and waited, and finally they pulled in with an ambulance. They took the patient out first, and as they got in, he jumped in and just drove home, which was not a smart idea. Now he got to, instead of going home, he got to go to jail. But that's the second ambulance stealing story today. It's an epidemic. All right. That's going to do it for...
And those things are crazy expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mess with those.
Not. Bad idea. That is fake news or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of hashtag gift card challenge, also giftcardchallenge.org. Here's the good news for today. Here's a headline. Treasure chest full of gold found in the Rocky Mountains. This is a really cool story, actually. A treasure chest full of gold found, according to the man who hid it there more than a decade ago. Thousands of people have ventured into the Rocky Mountains in search of this elusive treasure that was hid back in 2010. It was hidden, rather. A treasure filled with golds, diamonds, and estimated to be worth over $1 million. Forrest Fenn, an 89-year-old art and antiques collector, inspired people to explore nature by giving them some hope that they might actually find a treasure. He put out clues to his treasure. They were located inside a poem published in his autobiography, The Thrill of the Chase. He estimated that as many as 350,000 people from all over the world went hunting for the treasure. On June the 6th, 2020, this year, Fenn confirmed on his website that the treasure has, in fact, been found. It was under a canopy of stars in the lush forested vegetation of the Rocky Mountains and has not moved from the spot where I hid it more than 10 years ago. He said, I do not know the person who found it, but the poem in my book led them to the precise spot. I congratulate the thousands of people who participated in the search and hope they will continue to be drawn by the promise of other discoveries. So the search is over. Looking for more information in photos in the coming, or look for more information and photos in the coming days. So,
well, that's kind of fun, isn't it?
It is. There are people who have sued the guy because they went out, they gave everything they had, or they sold everything they had, and they devoted their life to finding this, and then they went broke and they didn't find it, and they're like,
well,
it's your fault.
He didn't tell them to sell
there were
everything.
some people who lost their lives, and the families were upset because they were out searching, and there are people who said, this doesn't even exist. Well, finally somebody found it, which is awesome. That's really, really cool. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.